There are tons of business podcasts to choose from, but only one has the stamp of approval. Kristen Stampini is South Florida's leading real estate entrepreneur and your trusted source for everything real estate.
I would like to welcome our listeners and thank you for joining us today for another episode of The Stamp of Approval. I'm Kristen Stampini, co-founder of the Stampini team with RE/MAX Services located in Florida. I'm also a certified real estate coach with the Craig Proctor Systems and the owner of Global Virtual Assistants, where we help small business owners hire, train, and staff very affordable administrative assistants virtually. The Stamp of Approval podcast was launched to share and educate other realtors, consumers, and other business owners across North America by sharing value and content to our listeners in each and every episode. I share my experiences, also my triumphs and failures, and strength throughout my entire life with the hope of my audience being able to expand their knowledge on everything real estate, business, sales, and mindset oriented. Recently, we launched a YouTube channel called Stamp TV, Kristen Stampini. I share weekly real estate tips, focus on real estate, and move up sellers. Today, I have my friend and attorney, Alan Rains. Alan is an attorney and one of the founders and partners of Wash Rains. He has 18 years of litigation experience and practices commercial litigations, including business torts, contract, and corporate litigation, real estate-related litigation, including construction, condominiums, homeowners associations, and cooperatives, and probate and trust litigation. Alan also has so many accomplishments, and one is including being the Florida Rising Stars from 2012 to 2016. So welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Kristen. Nice to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. So today we are going to talk about, as we know in Florida, we're going to talk about the FAR bar real estate disclosure. You know, there's so many issues that really, as a real estate agent and a consumer, that you should know about. So we're going to go into the discussion of the different things that Alan has seen recently and that all of you should really look into and know more as well. So go ahead, Alan, let's jump right into it.
Great. Okay, so as many of you likely know, the FAR bar, the Florida Association of Realtors, Florida Bar Association contract, it's called the FAR bar as is, was recently revised in 2017. So generally every contract, unless it's not an as is with right to inspect, is governed by this contract. One of the hottest areas for disputes over the last several years is Section 10 dealing with disclosures. And specifically Section 10B that a lot of sellers and a lot of realtors don't focus on, it provides the following. Permits disclosure. Except as may have been disclosed by seller to buyer in a written disclosure, seller does not know of any improvements made to the property which were made without required permits or made pursuant to permits which have not been properly closed. If seller identifies permits which have not been properly closed or improvements which were not permitted, then seller shall promptly deliver to buyer all plans, written documentation, or other information in seller's possession, knowledge, or control relating to the improvements to the property which are the subject of such open permits or unpermitted improvements. Now, this is important. For example, if you have someone that's owned a home, I'm going to use, for example, a home in Parkland, Florida that I recently dealt with in the fall, where contract price was roughly $1.4 million, 5,000 or 6,000 square foot house. The sellers acquired the house several years ago and elected to do roughly $500,000 worth of improvements with no permits. There was a dilemma as to how to disclose that in order not to get subsequently sued for a violation of Section 10B. So how did they fix that? We did an addendum for the sellers to execute that provided sellers had the following work performed at the property and are not sure whether permits were obtained for the following. And it was basically everything under the sun with regard to the house. Now, that seller disclosure, by providing that, takes them out of a potential breach of contract of Section 10B with regard to the permit disclosures, because permits were definitely not pulled. They disclose that the work was done and permits may not have been obtained. And the FAR bar as is, in the event of a violation of one of the sections, provides for prevailing parties' attorney's fees in Section 17. So without that disclosure, they could have been sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars in pulling retroactive permits, potentially expert witness fees for a general contractor to tear open all this work, show the inspections to Parkland or Broward County in order to show that this work was properly done.